Most people waste 6 months learning security the wrong way. Stacking certifications, watching endless tutorials, they follow every roadmap they find on Reddit, and then 6 months later, they can't explain the basic concepts in an interview. I used to be there. I get asked this question almost every week. How do I break into security? And the answer in 2026 looks nothing like it did even 18 months ago. Entry-level roles are tighter, AI automates many junior tasks, and teams are smaller, but they demand more from day one. And some jobs are even getting offshored, so there's a lot going on. But security is not disappearing. It's just changing how people enter the field. So if I had to start over today, here's exactly what I'd do differently. No wasted time, no tutorial hell, just the fastest path to proving you can do the job. All right, let's talk about why most people get stuck. There's 3 traps that I usually see. First, all the tutorials. You watch a 10-hour AWS course and then you follow along. You feel like you're learning, but then you close the video and realize you can't build anything on your own. But that's because you've been watching somebody else do it and it's not the same as you doing it yourself. Your brain tricks you into thinking you understand because you recognize what they're doing. But recognition is not the same as understanding. So that's like watching someone cook and then you think you can run a kitchen now. Second trap is certification stacking. People think if they just get enough certs, somebody will hire them. So you got Network Plus, Security Plus, AWS Solutions Architect, CISSP, and look, certs do help, and I've been there. They signal readiness. They start conversations, but they don't keep the conversations moving. So I've seen people with 5 certs who can't really explain what an IAM role does in an interview. And I've seen people with 1 cert and 3 solid projects get hired instantly. Why? Because proof beats claims every time. And the third trap is analysis paralysis. You're trying to figure out the perfect path. Should I learn AWS or should I learn Azure? Should I focus on networking or coding? Do I need a degree? And while you're over there researching, somebody else is building something. There is no single background that wins. People break in from IT, from software engineering, from help desk, from the military. And I got in because I had a security clearance and I just needed a job. So what matters less is where you started. And what matters more is how you think when the systems fail. All right, here's the plan in 3 phases. Phase 1 is fundamentals. And this is where most people either rush through or spend way too much time on. You just need about 4 to 6 weeks right here, not 6 months. And here's what you need to understand. First, how cloud infrastructure actually works. So just pick one cloud provider, either AWS or Azure, or even GCP. It doesn't matter which one. But once you understand one, the other ones pretty much make sense. Learn the core services. So compute, you have EC2 and Lambda. Storage is S3. Networking is VPCs and security groups. Identity is IAM. You don't need to memorize every service. You just need to understand how they connect and how they work together. How does a Lambda function access an S3 bucket? Through IAM. How does traffic reach your EC2 instance? Through security groups and network access control lists. You're just learning the systems, not the tools. All right, number 2 is security fundamentals. And this is where Security Plus helps out a little bit. And I'm gonna be real with you, Security Plus is one of those certs that opens doors that you didn't even know existed, simply because it's recognized and required by the Department of Defense, DoD, which means if you wanna do work with the government contracting, federal agencies, or any DoD-related security role, you need your Security Plus to do it. And those jobs are pretty stable and they pay pretty good, so they're not going anywhere. Even if you're not planning to work for the government, the Security Plus just gives you more options. Plus, it covers the baseline concepts you need to know anyway. Encryption, authentication versus authorization, network security, threat modeling. I got my Security Plus notes in my newsletter for free, and it's the same ones I use. And I think they're way more digestible than the official material from CompTIA, because sometimes I feel like it reads like a legal document. Third is using AI to compress your learning time. So this is the advantage you have in 2026 that I didn't have when I started learning. Don't go read a 100-page AWS white paper. Ask Cloud to summarize it in 5 bullet points for you. Don't spend an hour Googling how IAM policies work. You can ask Amazon Q to explain it and give you an example. AI is not a shortcut, it's just leverage. All right, phase 2 is hands-on projects. And this is where most people fail, because they keep watching tutorials instead of building things. You just need about 6 weeks here, probably less than that, to be honest. And you just need to build things that prove that you understand security. So here's what you do. First, build a small lab in AWS, free tier should be enough, and deploy a simple web application. Could be a static site on S3, or it could be a serverless API with Lambda. It doesn't really matter. What matters more is how you secure it properly. Enable encryption at rest and in transit. Configure IAM roles with least privilege, and set up security groups correctly. And then just document what you did. Write a post on LinkedIn, put the code on GitHub, Take some screenshots and show your work, because nobody's going to take your word for it that you know security. Number 2, practice least privilege with IAM. So this is the foundation of cloud security. Create IAM roles for different scenarios. You can do a Lambda function that reads from S3, an EC2 instance that writes to DynamoDB. Only give them the permissions they need. You can write a small Python script that audits your IAM policies, flags overly permissive roles, identifies unused permissions. This is the kind of project that shows you understand security thinking, not just clicking around in the console. And to be honest, this is more valuable than certification. So third, you can use AI to generate more projects. I built ProofStack, so it gives you interview-ready cloud security projects, AI projects, based on what you're trying to learn. You just tell it your skill level, it generates a project, and then bam, you build it, you document it, and you add it to your portfolio. Number 4 is threat modeling a simple application. Pick a basic web app. It could be something you built, or it could be something you use, and then just walk through it using Stride. Spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, elevation of privilege. It shows you can think like an attacker and a defender. And that's what companies actually need. So not someone who's just reciting definitions. Someone who can look at a system and say, here's where this breaks. 5th is scanning containers and codes for vulnerabilities. So you can use tools like Trivy to scan container images. You can use Git leaks to detect secrets in code. And you can run these in a CI/CD pipeline. Just write down what you found and how you fixed it. That's what real security work is. And you can do all of this without having a job. So, all right, now phase number 3 is specialization. And this is where you go deep, not wide. So just pick one area of security. It could be IAM, could be network security, compliance or governance, could be container security or AI security. You don't need to know everything. You need to know one thing really well though. So, because when you're interviewing, you want to be the person who can go deep on at least one topic. I've sat in architecture review boards, and most of the people who get respect aren't the ones who know a little about everything. It's the ones who can go deep and explain why something matters. This is also where advanced certifications help. If you're going into IAM, maybe you get the AWS security specialty. Or if you're going into AI security, maybe you get the NVIDIA AI infrastructure cert. That one actually matters now because more security roles touch GPUs, inference services, and AI pipelines. But here's the key. Remember, certs start the conversations. Hands-on skills keeps those conversations going. And as you specialize, just keep building in public. I want you to write about what you're learning, share your projects, answer questions in communities, because visibility creates opportunities for you. I've never really gotten too many jobs by applying. Every opportunity I've had came from someone seeing my work and reaching out. And that's actually how the game works. Not job boards, not endless applications, proof. So real quick, let me just summarize what actually matters in 2026. You want to understand how systems break under stress, reasoning through identity, access, and data flow, comfort working in AWS, Azure, or GCP, basic fluency in Python, Bash, or PowerShell, and the ability to threat model applications, APIs, and cloud services. Awareness of how AI workloads are deployed and secured, and clear communication so teams trust your conclusions. These skills hold value even as tools change. So AI will change workflows, but it can't really replace judgment, curiosity, or the skill of thinking both like an attacker and a defender. Security still needs new thinkers, and if you follow this path, you'll be one of them. And look, this isn't the fastest path, it's the most effective path. You're gonna spend the next 4 to 6 weeks on fundamentals, 6 weeks building projects, and ongoing specialization. That's about 3 to 4 months total before you're interview ready. But at the end of those 4 months, you'll have proof you can do the work. So it won't just be claims on a resume or anything like that. Actual projects, actual code, actual thinking. And that's what gets you hired. If you want help with this, I got my free security notes and ProofStack, my project generator that gives you interview-ready cloud security projects. You just have to click the link below in the description. All of it's free. Just sign up for my newsletter and I'll send everything over. And if this helped, let me know. Drop a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll keep breaking this stuff down in a way that actually makes sense to you. All right, see you next time.